day. Every time Dick and Harry got something to say. But what they said ain't got no fabric to it. Yay, take your thoughts with dice right through it. It's all about rumors and people feuding. If we're not uplifting, then what we doing? Yeah, they love the culture, yet they trying to wreck it. But are we ready to go hard to protect it? If we don't stand firm, then we're sure to fall. Are you ready to fight the stain and accept the call? Or it's all about dealerships and the mall. Now I'm ready to go for broke like Apostle Paul. I'm charged with the task to keep it real. Moving straight forward, not about to yield. Tackling every subject, yeah, you know the drill. R.I.P. Guru, I bring that mass appeal. Our ancestors stood tall despite abuse. We got all the tools, so what's our excuse? It's time to show a face and take off the mask. It's something every yay, it's the podcast. 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 It's something every yay, it's the podcast.
What it do? What it do? What it do? What's up, y'all? Episode 7. It's Some Every Yay podcast. Welcome to another glorious day. Glorious day. See what we got going on here. But first, do a little housekeeping. And hey, check it out, people. I need y'all to subscribe. I need y'all to share, like all my podcasts. I want to get my message out to the world. And if I help one person, that's awesome. So let's do this. So you go to YouTube. You must put in Danye F. Jones. Don't put Danye Jones. There's a couple others out there. I'm the original and the best. So let's keep it real. So go to Danye F. Jones on YouTube. Subscribe. You'll see my videos, past podcasts, shorts, my Friday fables. Also, Instagram. You can go to Coach_Jones32. Also on Instagram, Decola_32. So go out there and check me out. So, a couple things. We got a special guest today. Special guest, Dr. A.L. Smith. I'll talk about her more shortly, but a few things I want to get into real quick. Well, I know we already heard the chatter about our U.S. men's basketball team. You know, we had a 1-point victory against South Sudan. We had a close game yesterday with Germany. You know, and the team that they say really going to give us the problems was Serbia. And we dismantled them, although they had a great first half. That's the team with Jokic. I think we was a little more attentive defensively that game because of Jokic. But what I've seen so far, my takeaway so far is LeBron is still the lead dog. I mean, he is the lead dog for this team. And he should be. He's the veteran, you know. But he's still, when the ball is in his hand, usually good things happen because of his ability to facilitate and see the game. So he's still the lead dog. But I'm going to tell you this. We're going to have to do better on two particular things defensively. We did it better in the second half against Serbia. Our rotations off the pass, because most of those teams, they pass the ball well, and the ball doesn't stick. I mean, they're constantly moving. So our rotations and closeouts going to have to be better. Tatum closed out, particularly Tatum and Curry. They gave some very weak closeouts yesterday. No guy shot. You got to close out with purpose. Meaning, for those who don't know what closeout is, closing the distance between yourself and the shooter when they catch the ball to shoot. You want to rush them, but break your speed down just enough, but still be an arm distance enough to contest the shot. Or what you really want them to do is not shoot it or put the ball on the floor. So you run out low, you run out in a defensive position. Because you run out high, they can just pump fake and go by you. And even when they're passing the ball, the rotations are terrible. I think a lot of it's because we haven't been together long, and you have to build that synergy with the team. People think about that offensively, but defensively, you have to be on the string because our rotations right now are terrible. But I think it'll be okay. But our nuclear weapon has yet to play, KD. So we still got some in our back pocket. So it's very good to see that we have these close games. We're still able to win them. As a real pool play, I think begins next week. So that's one thing we need to look forward to. Disturbing video. You guys definitely have heard about this. Let me go here. What happened to this young lady, Sonia Massey? I'm sure you guys have heard of this. If you have not, we are going to talk about it. Now, this young lady here called the police, said she thought someone was trying to break in. The police came. This would happen.
Released body camera footage shows what happens next.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, sir.
Okay.
Deputies searched her property and anything. They talked to the 36-year-old for several minutes, eventually going into her home. Massey looks for her ID, and Grayson notices a pot of boiling water on the stove. Massey goes to get it. Then things take a turn.
You better not. I swear to God, I'll shoot your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the pot! Drop the pot!
Her final words were, "I'm sorry." 3 shots were fired. One hit the mother of 2 in the face. The other deputy says he will go to get his medical kit, but Grayson tells him not to.
I'm gonna go get my kit. No, headshot. Yeah, she's done. You can go get it, but that's a headshot.
Grayson can be heard on camera telling others what he says happened several times.
You know, what else do we do? I'm not taking hot boiling water to face.
Grayson also says several disparaging comments about Massey while she was on the floor bleeding.
Yeah, I'm good. Crazy. I think she set it up on purpose. I have a choice.
The Sangamon County State's attorney did not buy Grayson's justification. Grayson is currently in jail on first-degree murder charges, 1 aggravated battery with a firearm charge.
So here we go. Now we got a situation where this young lady calls the police, says she thinks someone is breaking her house or outside. They come in, still doesn't explain why they came inside like that afterwards, but I couldn't really hear the conversation. But I think other reports said she said something, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus" or something. And somebody said she was going to throw the boiling water on her. Then she said, "I'm sorry." She stooped down in a non-confrontational position. The guy still come and shoot her twice in the face. Told the damn, the cop said, "Let me go get the medic." No, I don't need. It was a headshot. Basically, man, this chick dead. I blazed her name. That's basically what he's saying. And he said she set the whole thing up, set us up to be killed. So listen here. I'm glad the authorities, this is in, I want to say Springfield, Illinois. Springfield, about 3 hours from here from Chicago. I'm glad the police didn't even entertain it. They arrested immediately, and they charged him with first-degree murder. Okay. Swift. And that's all we want the police officers to do. When one of their own show blatant, egregious misconduct, that's all we want. When you start to put them on desk leave, administrative leave, and all that crap, and you know what happened, that's when Black folks get to tripping. So, hey, I'm glad they didn't waste time with that. I don't know what his lawyer gonna do, but hey, it is what it is. But they definitely got him. Next thing here, obviously, we all know that Biden has bowed out, and the party is supporting Kamala Harris to be the nominee for the Democratic Party.
And let us be very clear, there is will continue bold and visionary leadership as president. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
The former president is a threat to our most fundamental freedoms. He has openly said that he appointed 3 Supreme Court justices that overturned Roe Americans. And it is my great honor to have Joe's endorsement in this race.
You sure do.
And it is my intention to go out and earn this nomination and to win.
That's awesome. So I'm gonna say this here. The party seemed to be 100% behind her. I think they, after the last debate, they sat Joe down and said, hey man, we're gonna be able to do it. And I'm sure as a man, as pride, said, no, I think they sat here and showed him the debate. And he said, no, he went on and bowed out. Because he seemed a little bit incoherent. And from Sunday to today, to yesterday, they think they raised 81 million initially quick. We're over 100 million now. Some Black Lady Coalition was online the other night. They raised close to $2 million, if not $2 million. Roland Martin, some other brothers got together, laughed at live on YouTube. I was on there. A lot of brothers all across the country was turning. I know we raised over 1.2 million last night. I donated as well. Not just for her campaign, but also for the ground root guys that's on the ground doing the work. And I'm gonna tell you something. I think it's important. Forget whatever your politics is. A lot of people had a problem with her. One, she's a woman. This is a sexist country. I'm talking about Black men. Some tripping because her husband white. Yeah, whatever. You ain't got to sleep with us. Don't worry about that. In this situation, it's vital not only that we continue to make sure Trump don't get into office, but as Black men, we need to stand still behind this system because they're going to go at her. And here's the thing. We don't know what tax they're going to use. They tried everything but Barack. Barack just didn't have no dirt for him. We don't know what she has or not, but whatever. Everybody got something going on, so we got to just support this as Black men. We have to support her, and as Black people, we have to really push behind this because if Trump gets back in office, he's so unpredictable. I can't even imagine. He probably already got plans. He said he's going to rule as a dictator. He said this. So we definitely have to get behind. We definitely have to get behind because basically our life depends on it. Our life depends on it. Our children's lives depend on it. Our grandchildren. Now, I'm thinking, what has to happen now? Her VP, the choice got to be an awesome pick. It almost has to be a home run. Can't be a triple, can't be a double, can't be a single. Definitely can't be a strikeout. And we don't want a ball or walk, meaning they said, well, we just let him do it. No, we need someone who can definitely stand beside her strong. I don't know who she's going to get. So I know that those are in the works now. It's not going to be just her decision. The whole party going to collaboratively come with the best possible candidate to support her. Now, what we cannot do, this is what we cannot do. A lot of negative reports are going to start coming out about Camilla. Don't share them. What I mean, if you want to talk about it with your friends verbally or text them. Let's not share, because what that does, when you share negative stuff about her, it creates the algorithm to bring in more negative stuff. And, people are, with social media, it's like TV, what we see, if it's on TV or if it's in black and white, it must be true. So we got to be careful about sharing propaganda. We have to be very careful with that. Another thing, we have to get down and try to support on our local level, see what our areas, what our political scheme look like in our individual areas. What are they doing to support the presidency? What are they doing? And you can do things at the micro level. Like last night, I don't know if you can still donate. The black men donate a lot. We made over 1.2. I don't know what the final numbers are, but let's see if I have it here. Let's see. Yeah. So what's on the screen? If you don't donate nothing but $1, nothing but $1, every little bit hurts. I mean, it hurts, it helps, but it hurts them because our big thing with the Republicans is money. So they can always raise money. So let's try to flood that if it's still available. If it's not available, I'm sure you can go to the sites, all the Democratic sites online, and find different ways where you can donate. I'm telling you, every little bit helps. Every little bit. I'm gonna tell you something. I work in the finance committee at my church, and people talk about building fund like church get over. I can't speak. I'm speaking about my church. The building fund a little bit helps because stuff break down, and I'm in there. I know what the money getting spent on. So if you put nothing but $2, I've seen with $2, $1 done just on that. So every little bit you send helps. We got to help this sister out for real. So if this doesn't work, I don't know if they still have it up. There are others online. Still waiting for my guest. She hasn't come in yet, but I want to go back to something real quick about something I talked about last week. Let's see here. It's still going on. Okay, I talked about this last week. That is actor Dwayne Adway and his daughter Delina, right there, deceased. She definitely she was found in her Hollywood apartment. They said it was a suicide. The alleged boyfriend said they got an argument. He left. He came back to find her. He couldn't revive her. They didn't do an autopsy. The police just listened to the coroner. They didn't check for any foul play. She had bruises on her arm and 2 puncture wounds. Listen, y'all. Google Dwayne Adway. Dwayne Adway. He's a Hollywood actor. We want to continue to just copy the story and just share it. I talked to him the other day. He wanted to keep this story in the news. I told him I'm going to share it. Dwayne Adway. Just go to Google Dwayne Adway, Dwayne Adway's daughter. Put pressure on the LAPD. They're trying to definitely close it. But hey, we got to get this going. So Dwayne Adway, definitely do that, people. Let's help this brother out because I can imagine. I know the loss of a child, especially when you don't know answers, definitely is devastating. So let's see here. Okay, there she is. Okay. Welcome. Let me introduce this young sister here. And let me get it going here. But I want to properly introduce her because she's a very accomplished young lady. This is Dr. A.L. Smith. Let's tell you a little bit thing about her. She's a practicing certified registered nurse anesthesiologist, means she put folks to sleep, y'all. So when she about to go to surgery, she put y'all to sleep so y'all won't feel that thing. She's also a lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserves. She attended Grambling State University, the place where everybody is somebody, y'all. You know, I'm always gonna rep the G. She went there on a basketball scholarship and later became the first nursing cadet to receive a commission to the Army Nurse Corps. In 2020, she completed a deployment to Kuwait at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, gaining firsthand knowledge of the global impact. She's also an accomplished author of the critically acclaimed novel Behind Closed Doors 2, Dana's Story, which is the subject of the multi-award-winning short film, Dana's Story. The story was inspired by her experience in Haiti during the devastating earthquake in 2010. She is interested in filmmaking. The filmmaker was spawned by her to create cinematic book trailers to market her work. So her books, they have trailers. You know how trailers before movies, I think that's awesome. And in 2022, she was selected as a semifinalist for the groundbreaking new show, America's Next Great Author. I don't like that semifinalist. You still a finalist in my books. Yeah, I want to see who was down with that, But I'm going to present to some, introduce to others. Dr. A.L. Smith, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Danye. And you make me sound so good just reading all of that.
Yeah. Now now you just kicked this off. See, she said Danye. So look, I'm gonna call her Doc. I'm gonna call her L. You might hear me call her Angie. You might ever call me Lil Mama. It's a little thing. I got a lot of names for her. But yeah, we're good started. So, Doctor, okay, where were you born?
A little town right outside of Shreveport called Frierson. And
Oh, I
it's
know.
so small until I just say Shreveport because nobody ever heard of Frierson.
Frierson. Okay, so
Mhm.
exactly how far are you from Shreveport?
7 minutes on I-49. But I remember
Okay.
when I-49 didn't exist, but it's about 7 minutes.
Okay. So yeah, that's why you would say that. But no, go on say
Yeah.
Frierson. I ain't know that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
right there next to Polk City. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all
Right
right.
there, right down the street.
So do you have any siblings?
I have a brother and 3 sisters. I'm the second oldest. And yeah, I'm the second oldest. And but I was gonna say something else about that. But I have a 2 younger sisters. The one that I used to bring to Grambling, Anika. She's more like a surrogate daughter because I feel like her mama sometimes. But yeah, I have a
Okay.
brother and 3 sisters.
Okay, cool. Now, high school, obviously, you had to play basketball in high school.
I did.
Yeah, okay. So did Grambling actively recruit you?
So here's how that happened. My family is diehard Grambling. So when my dad finally let me get on the basketball team in the 9th grade, I started going to the camps. And at
Okay,
that time, it was Coach James, Coach Ponton, Coach Bibbs, but they started calling me Lil Mama at that time
okay,
before I even got to Grambling. And so just that process of going to camp every summer, they started watching me. By the time I became a senior, they offered me a scholarship.
okay. I want to see, this is not in my notes, but I want parents to understand what she just said. The camps. When schools are in your reach and offer camps, it's not necessarily just obviously you want the kids to be involved in extracurricular activities, but you never know who's watching. I have a
Mhm.
sheet I would give all my players at the game. It has 10 how to get noticed. So the fact that she was showing the commitment, she loved the game, was going, they remember her. So they built a relationship from her growing up. And then that's awesome. That's
And
awesome.
another
So
point to that, Danye, is when you come from a small town, you're not on the map. And this was in the
right,
days before social media, right? So
right.
yes, that exposure, if you're from a small town, you got to leave and go, do some things. And I'm thankful that my parents sent me to basketball camp.
Awesome. Awesome, man. And last, before I go on, I can tell you this as being an educator, being 27 years, my daughter's an athlete, more so than boys. Girls that involved in athletics are less likely to be involved in any other kind of BS. Now, not to say boys too, yeah, boys too, but I know guys who are serious with their sports and they still gang banging tough. But
Hmm.
something about girls and their grades tend to be better.
Yes,
I mean, because
I
you
agree
know
with
your
that.
goddaughter when she tore ACL and started doing gymnastics, her grades actually dropped.
They did.
So
Yeah, I can
yeah, they
see
actually
that.
dropped. So yeah,
But
so
Koyana is just not to get off subject, but what
yeah, go ahead.
Koyana did by her whole story is amazing. How she became a swimmer because she couldn't do
Yeah,
gymnastics anymore.
yes,
She had to learn how to swim, and so she could become a competing swimmer. That's amazing.
yeah, yeah. I talked to her. I want to get her on here one day, but your
Yeah.
goddaughter, she extra. Okay, going on. So real quick, what is that? So Grambling. What was life like at Grambling? That's obviously there's a HBCU. What was life like at Grambling?
So it's the best thing. I wouldn't change a thing about Gremlin. I'll say this to start off. My first day at Gremlin, I walked by Q Hill, and my life was never the same. I'll say that.
One of them scooped you up.
Well, no, it was just that was my first glance into that type of that whole environment. I had never seen that. I'm
Yeah,
from a small town. So I walk by Q
right.
Hill, I see everybody having fun. It wasn't just Q's on Q Hill, it was just a whole
Yeah,
group of people just really
people.
enjoying themselves. And I was like, dang, this is almost like school days now. So yeah, that is what my first experience. But just going to an HBCU, I would not change a thing about it. I love Grambling, and
Yes.
and I always want to see Grambling progress and do well because we bleed black and gold. Um, there's a lot to be said about the program that I was in, the nursing program. It was tough, um, but somehow I managed to get through it, and I was well prepared. And I think going to Grambling and majoring in nursing was probably the best thing that I could have done coming out of high school. Basketball was my first love, right? And I played that first year, and we had Tasha Hollis, right?
Yeah,
Six
yeah,
four. What I can say about Tasha is if I had to compare her to anybody, she was like a power center, but she had finesse moves like Olajuwon.
yes.
You know what I'm
Yep,
saying?
yes, she did. Very
So
nimble, very nimble.
yeah, you remember. And
Yeah.
so my freshman year, we made it to the SWAC finals. Grambling hadn't won the SWAC finals, I don't think, since '88. That was our year. Alcorn took it from us. We lost. I think
Yeah.
that was the most devastating thing about my time on the basketball team. I just knew we were going to win, and we didn't pull it off. But I got to play with Tasha Hollis, right, and Carmen and Sharon and
Yeah.
some of the other ladies, and that's an experience that I will carry with me forever.
Yeah, I've always respected Coach Bill, Coach Pontine, the program
Hmm.
they put together for our Lady Tigers. I mean, they always were competitive, always was tough, and
Hmm.
yeah. And you do me a favor.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's your right side or a little bit over to your right. Yeah, a little,
You're
little,
right.
little more.
Oh, okay. Let
Yeah,
me do.
perfect. All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's
Oh,
that's
I
that's
see what
cool
I'm
right there.
doing. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool right there. Yeah, so okay, you finished your grammar. Now they say you was a nursing cadet.
Hmm.
Exactly, the nursing cadet.
Hmm.
Now, you was the first. Explain that. It said to receive a commission in the Army Nurse Corps. What exactly is that?
So when I stopped playing basketball, I had to figure out how to pay for school. So
Okay.
they came over to the nursing, the ROTC, Army ROTC came over to the nursing department, and they talked to us about Army nursing. And the one thing that stuck out to me is they said they had an anesthesia program. So when I got out of class that day, I went directly to the ROTC department and I signed up. And that was the other best thing I could have done, because becoming an Army nurse, it prepared me for what being a nurse anesthetist would be. It gave me the character and the resilience because it's not easy. But I think because I went into nursing as an Army nurse, it gave me an edge. And so
Okay.
at that time when I joined, Grambling had never commissioned a nurse in the Army Nurse Corps. They had had
Oh,
nursing cadets in the past, but the program was just so, I can't tell you how difficult the nursing program was. I mean, you probably heard, but it was hard. And so I ended up becoming the first nurse to get a commission in the Army Nurse Corps from Grambling.
wow.
And that was like shocking. I didn't even know that that was an issue until I actually got into the program. And as it turned out, I ended up being the first nurse to get a commission.
Okay. No, I don't know. Now, have they honored you in some way? Like aspiring nurses come through the program now. Do they know who Angela Smith is?
So I did. I want to say in 2015, I got a chance to go back and talk to the nursing department. It was like a recruitment deal, and I had a couple young ladies come up to me and ask about Army nursing. And I encouraged them to go and explore it because it pays for school. Um, it gives you an edge. Civilian employers love military nurses.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that to look at. Um, but yeah, I did go back once, and I've also donated to the nursing program for different things. I try to stay as involved as I can, but that's been about what 7, 8 years ago.
See, that's the thing about it. You're so humble. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it for you. That's good that you went back. Okay. They're gonna look at me like, okay, because I plan on going to homecoming this year, but I think I'm gonna go a day early because I need to go to nurse program. There should be something in your name there. You was the first there, and like I say, you went back, and I know they didn't pay you to go back to talk to them. This is something that you want to do. So I'm telling you right now, I'm pushing right now. They could have the Dr. L. Smith Scotch Boy. If it's nothing but giving somebody a stipend every semester, you'll
Yeah.
pitch something in your name because that's the first. And I just know because I know a lot of people from Louisiana who lacked melanin was coming to Grambling in our nursing program. I
Yeah.
remember that
Yeah.
because they couldn't get in LSU. So they
Exactly.
tried to cut, yeah,
Exactly.
and our nursing program is renowned countrywide. It's so
Yeah.
respected. So I would see all these different people coming. So I'm telling you right now, I'm pushing that right down because the young girls still need to know, yeah, it's available. But
Mhm.
somebody who walked these same streets, who ate in the cab, who walked past the library, who was in front of the student union, came on this, who can do great things. So I'm pushing that. I'm letting you know that right now.
That now that you mention that, Danye, the thing about so I was playing basketball and I was majoring in nursing. Well, my freshman semester, I failed a class for the first time in my life. I got an F in
Oh
anatomy.
wow.
So I went and
Oh
talked
wow.
to my anatomy professor, who happened to
Oh,
be a
oh, but so you didn't have that Dr. Duplanche, did you?
I didn't have Dr. Duplancher. I
That's
had
who you
so we
needed.
had our
Okay.
own but sciences for nursing. So I never did have Dr. Duplancher, but I heard
Oh,
about it.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this professor was actually someone that came over from Northeast. It was a white guy. And I went and talked to him. I said, I'm failing your class, but what can I do to bring my grade up? I'm on the basketball team. We travel a lot. He said, look, you need to change your major because athletes don't graduate and they sure as hell don't graduate in nursing. That is what
Wow.
he said to me. Right. And
Wow.
so, of course, me being competitive, I said, well, I'm going to have to prove him wrong, but I couldn't, Danye. I made an F. I got an F in that anatomy class. And I realized I was going, I needed to make a choice and I chose nursing. Um, and that probably was the best thing, considering what am I going to do with
Yeah.
basketball when I leave. So I did. But yeah, that program was tough. My class started out with 50 people in my level one. When we graduated, I think we had 12 people in the graduating class. We lost people, so many people along the way. So,
Oh, now see now I don't see that's one thing about I told when we start talking, my notes gotta take a back seat. I'm pissed off what you just told me. And this was someone on our campus to teach our black behinds that you're gonna try to that still was discouraging though.
it
It's
was.
just the fact how you know what I'm saying? And I know that because there was a white guy in our teacher program. Because like for teachers, people down south remember this, the NTE, the National Teacher Exam,
Mhm.
was just people just got out of teacher because they couldn't pass. It was 4 parts of it. I stayed when I got with it. I had a white professor. This is what he told me. He was at a bar with other white folks, didn't know where he worked. And he said, do you know what you call the NTE? He said it's called the nigger teacher eliminator.
Oh my God.
And that white professor came back and told us that. He said, this is what they think about you. He said, so because of that, he said, I'm gonna make your exam harder because
Yeah.
I know y'all still can do it. And we
Wow.
did. Nobody in my class
failed it.
class failed. You know,
Right.
so and what's crazy about that crap, NTE carries no weight up north. None.
Oh, really?
I'm none. I said,
I
I
didn't
got this.
know
They said,
that.
well, yeah. They said, well, yeah, that's good, but you gotta take our test. Okay. But let me let me get back. So now you're an anesthesiologist. Obviously, you put people to sleep before you take their. So let me on an average day, how many people do you have to put under normally?
So where I'm working now, I work at Parkland. Well, I don't even know if I should say that, but yeah, I work at Parkland, and it's a trauma center here in Dallas, and
Okay.
we see a lot of patients. So on any given day, I could do 4 cases, if they're short cases, or I could do 1 case because it lasts all day. We're doing robotic surgery and stuff like that. That's the kind of case that might take 8 hours. So I could do 1 case or I could do 8 cases, but it just depends on what room I'm in. We have like 30 operating rooms. So it just depends on what service you're working with on that particular day.
Okay. So now, obviously, people are probably some people, I'm sure, probably are kind of anxious and nervous about to go into surgery. So, do you try to build, even though you're not going to be kicking it later, you try to build some type of short rapport with them prior to you putting them under? How important is that?
Absolutely. And I got a story about that, Danye. So when I got into anesthesia 20 something years ago, I finished in 2001. Um, One of the preceptors I worked with, he told me, and this is a white guy from down south, red, old coon ass is what we call him. But he said, Angela, he said, you're short, you're black, and you're a female. He said, you don't have very much room for any shortcuts or errors. And so he
Yeah.
said, I want you to keep a notebook. In every case you do, you put a sticker in there with the patient's name on it. So I graduated. I go around to work in Shreveport, then I moved to Dallas. So in Dallas, I'm doing OB anesthesia where you put in the epidural. So this is in 2003. I gave this lady an epidural, white lady, no problems. Well, she comes back a year later and she says, I don't want the person I had the last time. So they call me. I'm
Oh,
at
really?
home on call. So the nurse calls me and says, "We have someone in labor. Can you come in?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "But I want you to know this." She said she doesn't want the person she had last time, and that was you. So I said, "Pull the record." So she pulls the record,
Yeah.
gives me the name. I go to my little notebook, and I see the name, and beside it I had epidural placed times 1 attempt. That's it. No problems. She just didn't want me to
Okay.
do it. She wanted
Oh,
somebody who
wow.
didn't look like me. But the
Wow.
beauty of it was when that man told me that back when I was in school, I didn't know how to take it. And even though it was hurtful to hear, I did listen, and it saved me on that because this young lady, she had no grounds for saying she didn't want me. So I told the nurse,
Absolutely.
go look at her record. I said, and if you look at it, you'll see she slept through her entire laboring process until it was time to push. So she can't say the epidural didn't work, right? She just didn't
Right.
want me. So to answer your question, I have seen fear in people's eyes when I tell them I'm the person that's going to give you your anesthesia, right?
Wow.
Because and I'm in Dallas.
I didn't even think of that. I
Yeah,
didn't. I didn't even think. I didn't even think. I'm thinking about, yeah, just people in general. But yeah, if someone that's not African American to see a sister about to come in, they like automatically because of they have art condition in mind. Do this. And see something for me. I would be like, as a white person, as
mhm.
racist as this country is, and I know it is, I know they wouldn't have this black woman in here if she didn't know what the hell she was doing. That's what I would be thinking. But
that
that's how
you're
that
you're dead on, Danye. But it gets even
right.
worse because the only person that has told me to my face, "No, you can't do my anesthesia," was a black woman. an elderly Black
Wow.
woman. And this was around when Michael Jackson had died. And I went in, I talked to her, I said,
Right.
I'm Angela Smith. I'm your nurse anesthetist. I'm going to be give you your anesthesia. That lady looked at me and said, "No, you're not." And she
Wow.
said, "I need to see your license. I need to see this. I need to
Oh,
see that."
yeah.
And I said, "Ma'am, I don't carry that type of stuff on me. But the fact
Right.
that I'm in here talking to you, I'm supposed to be here." She flat out refused.
Right.
And so the surgeon I was working with was from Pakistan. When he got
Okay.
there, he told the lady, "If Angela can't do your anesthesia, I can't do your case." It was a minor case, Danye. She had like a small cyst on her arm. It was going to take 30
Okay.
minutes for me to put her to sleep and then to take it off. He
Okay.
discharged her from the practice. He told her, if Angela can't do, and so
Then
it was a Black woman that told me to my face, "I don't want you to do my anesthesia." So that kind of ties into what you just said. For a white person to see me, they would think, well, she didn't just get here by chance. But it was flipped. I always expected somebody, maybe white, to say no. But it was a Black woman who said no. And that
it's
devastated me.
yeah, absolutely. And we just got to do better, Black people. We just got to do better. It's funny because there's an episode. I'm a Sanford Son aficionado. Seen every episode, and there was a situation where Freddie went in for a dentist. The Black dentist came in. Freddie
Mm,
don't know part son.
I
Yeah, then
remember
they
that.
sent the white guy in. And he was like, "Oh yeah,
No
he about
problem.
business." Yeah, he said, "Bet your dad is a dentist." Like, nah, he took his stuff through correspondent courses. Then the
Oh,
white dude looked, yeah. Then the white dude looked at him up. It's a little bit too complicated. Let me take it to the main surgeon. And he said,
and it was a
see,
Black guy.
Lamont, he about it. And the black guy who came in, who was before, and he told Fred, he said, "Let me open your mouth wide so I can get your foot out your mouth." You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So we have to do better, Black people.
I
This is
remember that
awesome because
episode, Danye. I had forgotten
yes,
about that. That's
oh
exactly
yeah,
the experience. That's
yeah.
exactly what happened.
That's it. So when you said it, I just thought about that. So,
Wow.
Lord have mercy, yeah. Oh, well, that's awesome because yeah, I got had a
Mhm.
colonoscopy a couple years ago, and I wondered that conversation because I was having a conversation. I struck it with my anesthesiologist. I wanted to know, hey, we just was talking though, but I
Mhm.
was like, I'm gonna be under, and y'all gonna be going into a cavity that really shouldn't be entered. And I said, I didn't know. I said, and when I was done, I said, you gonna take me out to dinner now? I mean, because I feel like I've been, you know what I mean?
Finally.
But I want to make sure everything was everything. So I was making them laugh so they could say, I'm gonna take care of this. This guy's all right. So
Yeah.
okay, now I'm gonna go forward a couple of things real quick. Now I'm gonna go up and then go back. First, in 2020, you was deployed to Kuwait.
Mhm.
Was it in 2020 you got deployed? When exactly were you?
It was 2020. It was June of
Okay.
2020. And I
Oh yeah,
was
the
like,
height
this
of
is the
pandemic.
worst.
Okay.
Yeah, it's at the height of COVID, and I was like, I'm a single mother, right? And at the time, my mother was here. She's older. I'm like, I don't want to leave my child and my mother and go over here. But I was able to work it out. And I went to Kuwait at the height of COVID. And two things I noticed right off. Well, one thing in particular. Over here, people were saying they don't want to wear masks, right? You had the pro-Trump people just
Yeah.
absolutely refusing to wear masks.
Right.
And
Just
what we
because.
knew at that time about COVID was it didn't like heat, it didn't survive well in hot weather, and that it spreads through the respiratory tract. So I get over to Kuwait and I'm noticing their COVID numbers are low. And I said, why is this? And it was because of the heat and also because the women are covered. So if you
Yeah.
got half the population covered and it's hot and their numbers are low, I was like, there's got to be something to these masks. Now, this was in June or July of 2020, and it just got me to thinking. And so while I was there, we actually wrote a paper that got published in a journal somewhere. But COVID over there was different than it was over here for a number of reasons, but I think the mass in the female population is what made the numbers low. So that's what I got out of that being over there.
Wow. And yeah, I kind of skipped this. So, because you're a lieutenant colonel, first of all, what exactly is that position and how did you become that?
So in the military, you have a rank structure. Like you enter for me as a second lieutenant, and the highest level you can go is a general. So
Okay.
you go from 01 all the way up to 09 or 07 is a 1-star general is 07. So I'm an 05, a lieutenant colonel. So after
Okay.
lieutenant colonel, you have colonel, then general. I will never be a general because I just got my retirement papers last month.
I heard that.
So that's it for
Hey,
me. But yeah,
that's a blessing. That's a blessing.
yeah. So you just basically you do your job, you lead like you're supposed to, you know, click all the buttons, and it got me to 05. So
Okay. Wow.
that's it for me.
It's
I
crazy.
won't be going any further.
Yeah, you messing me up. I swear. I mean, I'm like briefly hitting my notes, but I'm trying because you got a lot of. This might be a long one than what I thought. It's cool though. I'm enjoying
Here's
it. Check
another
this out.
thing about the ROTC, Danye. A lot of people don't know this, but so your West Point cadets back then, if you were a West Point cadet, you got what they called a regular Army commission. That means I'm a
Okay.
for life, right? They
Yeah,
get those,
because West Point is like the coup de
right?
grace. That's like the
Right.
top. Okay.
That's the most elite type of commission into the Army is if you go to an academy. ROTC,
Yeah.
if West Point is here, a lot of people will say, it's the way you get your commission. However, in ROTC, they allow 10% of the cadets to actually receive a regular Army commission. Well, I received
Oh,
a regular
okay.
Army commission when I left Grambling. So, I was the first nurse to get commission, but I also received a regular Army commission, which at the time was hard. Like you didn't get regular Army commissions unless you were like top tier. So how did I do that? Well, we had a general to come down to Grambling and look at the ROTC program, and they tried to figure out why isn't Grambling graduating any nursing cadets? The general went and talked to the dean, Dean Smith, the white lady who was in charge of the nursing program. I don't
Okay.
know what that dean said to that general, but when the general came back and talked to me, she said, Cadet Smith, I want you to graduate. Whatever you can do to graduate, she said, you can have whatever you want. You can go wherever you want to go. You can have whatever, special considerations. She said, just graduate. So I got the regular Army commission. I got the critical care course and all these other things because of that meeting that this general had with Dean Smith.
Wow.
The woman, now Dean Smith's name is still on the nursing building, Danye. Our nursing building is called Dean Betty Smith, right?
Okay.
So when I came back from Kuwait, I had a meeting with Mr. Gallo, who was the president. And I
Yeah.
said, Rick, I've been thinking about this. And I said, I have a problem when I come to homecoming and I have to go to the nursing building and I have to see this woman's name on that building. I said, I donate as much as I can. I'm a life member of the alumni. I said, but I would do way more if you take her name off of that building. It's still on there.
Okay. We gonna talk off script on that to get some new shit because it's almost like yeah. And see, yep. I'm gonna leave that alone because I would go in absolutely.
I want her
Because
name off the building. I'm putting it out there.
Yeah. Because what I'm saying, like, what are we doing?
What are
If
we
we really
doing?
gonna
Oh,
stay
and another thing, Danye, T.H. Harris Auditorium. Do you know who
Yeah.
T.H. was? You know who he was, right?
You know what? I never did really.
T.H. Harris
You know
was
what? Yeah, See, look at. No, you know what? We gonna talk because you might say something that's gonna take me far left,
Hmm.
and I don't want to go far left right now.
Yeah.
We gonna definitely talk all trip, yeah,
Yeah.
and
We need to talk about that because it's a lot of
yeah,
stuff that as Gremlin
yeah,
people, some things we
yeah,
probably need to look at
absolutely,
moving
absolutely. And you
forward.
know what? And think about, we are like really the last generation of Gremlinites to do it. Because
Hmm.
unfortunately, and by no fault of their own, the newer gun lights, I want to say, well, I'm gonna go ahead and say corrupted, but they're baptized by the world of thinking.
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
that was this year, that was so far ago. No. So yeah, we definitely gonna
Yeah.
chop it up. Now, oh man, real quick here now. 2010, earthquake in Haiti.
80. Mhm.
How did you get called to that, and what were your responsibilities?
So at the time, I was working with an anesthesiologist here, Dr. Kikiri, and he called me the day it happened. And the reports we were getting were that they didn't have anesthesia. Like they were over there literally doing cases with no gas, no anesthesia gas. They didn't have medicine, but you had all these injured patients, and there were reports of people using drinking alcohol to numb areas on the patient. So Dr. Kakari
Like
called,
like the westerns, like in the
yes,
westerns.
yes, like
Oh
the West.
Lord, have
They
mercy.
had nothing
Wow.
because there was no oxygen. You can't give anesthesia gas without oxygen. So everything had to be topical or
Wow.
intravenous. So he called me and said, Angela, we need to try to get to Haiti. Can you call your army unit? I said, Dr. K, I can't, I don't have that much pull. I can't call my unit and say, take us to Haiti. So
Yeah.
what he did was he found someone with a private plane. And we got people here in Dallas to donate supplies. And we got on the plane and we went to Haiti. We get to Haiti and they land in this place called Jacmel, but that's not Port-au-Prince. So we still need to get to Port-au-Prince. So we were stuck in
Okay.
Jacmel for like 24 hours. We were like, okay, how are we going to get to Port-au-Prince? Like we may not get beyond this point because the whole effort was so unorganized. And I looked up and I saw an Air Force C-130 coming, right?
Okay.
So I walked over to the guy. I said, look, I got 4 people from Dallas and I got 8 anesthesia providers from Houston. We're trying to get to Port-au-Prince. Can you take us? He put all our stuff on the plane and he took us to Port-au-Prince. We landed and we got to the hospital. And it was the most devastating thing I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like it. This one little boy had lost his legs and he was laying out in the hallway, recovering in the hallway. The second earthquake happened. The little boy got up and tried to run. He forgot he didn't have any legs, right? We were doing cases, 2 surgeries going on in the same room at the same time, which is unheard of because that's not sterile. But we were literally doing battlefield surgery in the operating room. We were sterilizing supplies in buckets of betadine because we didn't have a sterilizer. Um,
Right.
Basically, just you had to just cut it off. If it was an arm or a leg, you couldn't save it because there was no antibiotics, right? So it was weird. It was very painful to see how devastated the people were. And then it made me go look at the history of Haiti. And that pissed me off when I looked at the history of Haiti because you know that story, right? Why is Haiti poor?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
poor. You know why it's poor. And
Poor is not even the word. You got to find something under poor because it's poor people here. That's
right,
that's not. It's another word. I don't know the word, but it's not poor.
right. I
And
don't know what you could
that's
call it really.
so. That's
It's a different
well. Let
kind of
me,
poor.
because I know this could be a whole show here, but let me ask you this: what do you want the American people, particularly us, to know about Haiti? We see clips here and stuff, but we go on about our business. You know what I'm saying? But what do you want Black people really to know the conditions really are in Haiti?
So that first night when we got to Haiti, we spent a night in this place that was like an orphanage, right? You've got these white people that are running the orphanage, and I'm looking at all these little Haitian kids running around, and I was looking in their eyes, and I saw a void. So we're talking to the orphanage people that are running this place, and the story they're giving us is they were abandoned. Every last one of them. Oh, this one, um, his mother had him and left him in a hole. All these kids, I found that hard to believe. So of course I started doing research, and they have this thing in Haiti called Restavix, Restavek, Restavix. These are children who are forced to become slaves, really. They are trained and raised to work domestically for the rest of their lives. They keep them in Haiti or they send them to Dominica, but they basically, that's their life. They are groomed to be domestics the rest of their lives. And I'm like, after I heard about that, I said, I wonder if some of these kids were Restavix. They're telling us they're orphans, but I don't know that. Maybe this was,
You don't know that, right?
I don't know
Part
that.
of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And the other thing I saw in Haiti is there is a color line. You've got light-skinned Haitians and dark-skinned Haitians. When we got to Port-au-Prince, we stayed in a mansion that was owned by the doctor who was in charge of the hospital. He was light-skinned. You walk outside of his house, all of the people that were sleeping in tents around his house, they were dark-skinned. So there is a light-skinned, dark-skinned situation going on in Haiti, and it's the dark-skinned people who suffer the most. So what does that sound like? So, but Haiti is in that position because they beat the French, you know, but the French influence is still strong over there.
Strong.
Yeah, you got the offspring of the mulatto people who are in power.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hey, yeah, this is damn,
So yeah,
okay.
Haiti is tough.
We definitely, because I had an idea. I'm gonna run it by you off screen, but yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So, and this would go, okay. Y'all say, man, this girl is something. Let me tell you something. Initially, when I thought about doing this podcast a year ago, I had a list of potential guests, and you were one of me, and you was already in the mix.
Okay.
You really were. My main focus is really what I'm talking about now, but I knew you had other stuff, but you was giving us a lot. Now, this doctor here, y'all, is an author. And now your book. Now your first, it was influenced or inspired by your time in Haiti. Am I correct?
Yes, the second book was, but and how that happened was I wrote the first book, and the publisher that I submitted it to said, "Yeah, we'll publish your book, but we want you to write 3 more." Well, I didn't have a topic for 3 more books, so this was in 2015. But I took a character from the first book and made her the lead character in the second book. And I made the character have a Haitian background because I wanted to talk about Haiti, right? So in this first book, I talked about a girl named Dana who was at HBCU, which for me is Grambling, of course. That's the HBCU. In the book, it's called Gretna State University, which is GSU, because I couldn't say Grambling, right? But it's based on my experiences at Grambling, that first book. And then Dana went to Gretna State University, and she became the protagonist in the second book, and her father was Haitian, and so I was able to share my experiences in Haiti through this character. So, and that's what I try to do. I try to include history in all of my books. You know, I'll take a character and I'll build a history point around that character. And that was Dana. Her father was Haitian.
Okay, now I'm showing you this behind closed doors too, Dana's story.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the one that was made into a short film. Am I correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so the short film. Yeah, go ahead. How did that come about?
So I wanted to try to promote books. So I took a scene from the book and created a cinematic book trailer. And Dana, her father was Haitian. And so we did the book trailer, and everybody was like, where is this a movie? Like, where can we watch this movie? I said, it's not a movie, it's a book trailer. But because of the response, I ended up deciding to do a short film, and I shot a Haiti scene because I love talking about Haiti. I love the history with Haiti. And so that's how it came about. We did the short film because of the response to the book trailer.
Wow. Now, what is the difference in terms of, okay, you obviously writing your stories, but obviously you had to have a lot of control of how the short film was portrayed. So what's the difference in terms of someone being the orchestrator, director, or whatever of your vision on screen? Because you know, sometimes people tell somebody's story, then their vision is totally different from what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So with one, did you have any issues with any situations where, hey, no, we can't do that? Or and also, was the difference so great in terms of just writing, being on set, trying to get your story out the way you wanted it?
That's a great question, Danye. Because I had no experience in film. I didn't know what I was doing. I write stories. So I was grateful. I was blessed to have a homeboy. We share the same birthday. Who ended up he graduated from film school, and so he's really the brains behind everything that happened with Dana's story. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do the book trailer or the short film without Huey Rawls.
Okay.
And so we did the script together, but he directed the movie, and I was on set every day. And I saw, I was able to say, well, no, what about this? But, as far as the artistic part of filming, I didn't have any eye for that because I wasn't trained. So I had Huey, and the two of us were able to create something that to me was just perfect. And we won 9 awards for the movie.
Oh, awesome. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Now look here, people. Now look here. Now you have audio books as well?
Yes, on Amazon.
Okay, well, I know people aren't really like reading like they used to, but there ain't no excuse, y'all. You can listen to your car. You listen to everything else. Some of y'all bumping Sexy Red. So y'all can listen to some real stuff. I ain't trying to take no shot at Sexy Red, but I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. But people, you can go here, alsmithbooks.com. Mm-hmm. Listen, go to a spot, and she got a little store too. Was it Iron Power? Inc?
Yeah, on TikTok. I have a TikTok shop.
A TikTok shop. But listen, really legitimate story. She has other stories. We talking about Dana's story because that's like kind of really like kicked everything off. But she has other books that you can get. We have I saw this here, Malicious Intent, part of the Behind Closed Door series.
Yeah.
Now you have a cinematic trailer for this one too as well, right?
Yes, and there's a story behind that book too. It's crazy, but
yeah. See, she's a story person, y'all. So stuff that come close to our heart, she's gonna definitely talk about. Hold on, we putting all this out here. Hold on, we putting all this out here.
So let me say this about Malicious Intent, Kanye.
Oh no, let's go back then.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So malicious intent was inspired by an experience I had at work. Long story short, I noticed a lot of young people coming in to where I was working at the time, and they were HIV positive. And so one day I got a patient who had a let's just say that individual had a condition that could only have come from a same-sex encounter. It was an STD, but he was
Okay.
married. He was married. His wife was like drop dead gorgeous. He was drop dead gorgeous, and it was a bad situation, Danye, because the physician had to go out there and break the news to the couple, right? That this person had this STD. So that's how she found out her husband was in a down low relationship. Okay, so that's where the premise for this book came from, that experience. And I wanted to talk about PrEP and PEP. PrEP is a drug you can take every day, like a birth control pill. If you come in contact with somebody with HIV, it doesn't convert in your body. PEP is a pill you can take 3 days after an exposure to somebody with HIV. And if you start within 3 days and you take it the way you're supposed to, you won't get HIV. We don't know about that in the Black community. There's not enough people.
Stop. Hold up. Let me, hold up, wait. Hold up. Okay, we do that again. Okay, go ahead. Say what you just said again.
So about PrEP and PEP. So PrEP is like a birth control pill. If you're living a high-risk lifestyle and you getting it in or whatever, like if you ain't supposed to, you having unprotected sex, you take this pill every day just like a birth control pill. If you come into contact with somebody who has HIV, they wake up the next morning and they're like, oh, by the way, I'm HIV positive. If you've been taking this pill every day, it doesn't convert in your body. There's a 97% chance that you will not have HIV. It's even higher than that, but the literature says about 97%, but it's actually higher than that. So you can take this pill every day, like a birth control pill, have sex with somebody, they're HIV positive, and you won't get it. The other pill is like a morning after pill. Had you ever heard of that?
No. And trust me.
That's what I'm saying.
I know I'm not the only one. Yeah.
Yes.
Information.
Mm-hmm. The other pill is like a morning after pill.
Lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge. And nobody should be getting HIV right now. It's too much out there to prevent it. But if you don't know about it, then, it's sad.
Wow. And see, people, see, like I said, that's why I'm keeping the lsmithbooks.com. It's a lot of information. You have the Southern Strategy book here. So tell me a little bit about that.
Southern Strategy. That's crazy. I wrote this book while I was in Kuwait. I was over there for like 3.5 months. And somebody over there asked me the question. They said, if the Democrats freed the slaves, then why do Black people vote for Democrats? So I wrote this book, and it basically explains to you specifically how and when the parties flipped. When Democrats became Republican and Republicans became Democrat. That's what this book is about.
Oh, wow. Okay. I like that. People, look, I want y'all to go to lsmithbooks.com. She has a wealth of knowledge. I don't know if you have your email on the site as well, but I'm sure if you reach out to her, she definitely will. They'll hit you back or something, because like I said, and definitely if there might even be, because I'm sure there's always stories that you hear about that inspires you to go forward and get messages. Because the biggest thing, like I said, people perish because of lack of knowledge, and we got to continue to build each other up and just share knowledge. It makes no sense if I'm getting good knowledge keeping myself, because we are blessed to be a blessing.
Yeah.
And
What did Nino
I'm gonna
Brown
close.
say? Nino Brown said, "We are. I'm my brother's keeper."
I'm my brother's keeper, and my brother's
Yeah.
keeper.
So yeah.
Yes. So I'm gonna kind of end it with this here, but I'm gonna say this here: the things that you do and things you have done, you cannot not have a heart. I mean, it's just impossible. If you don't have a heart, you can't do that. So, and I do know. Tell me, what is your relationship with God?
I wouldn't be able to do anything that I'm doing from Grambling all the way to now if I didn't have a relationship with God. I prayed so hard in nursing school, but not only that, Danye, when I was a junior, I believe, I actually got rebaptized while I was at Grambling. In the midst of being at Grambling, I found God beyond the way you get baptized in a traditional way. When you
Yes,
turn 11,
yes,
your grandmama says, go get on the morning bench and you get
right.
baptized.
Yeah,
I did
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But at
yeah,
Grambling, I actually was convicted to actually consciously give my life to the Lord. And I got rebaptized. I think I was like 21. And,
yeah.
people thought I was crazy. Well, you already got baptized. I said, but I know what I'm doing now. I had no
I
idea what I
know,
was
right,
doing then. Right.
right,
So,
right.
and I'm not a perfect person. I still get it messed up. I still do things that may not be pleasing to God, but I know right from wrong in a way that if I mess up, I'm convicted by it. Like I don't just do stuff and sleep well. And that's the thing.
Right.
If you have a conviction, then you know you're wrong. You ask for forgiveness. But that doesn't mean you just do wrong because you know you can ask. You know that. But if
Yeah.
you're convicted on something, and then there's forgiveness, right? Because we're not perfect.
And that's the thing. And I gotta tell people get to know them. And because it's funny you say that because it was during that time when I got reintroduced. The time you're talking about. Wait a minute. Did you go to a church that was it in Jonesboro or no? It was some church that we went to that you invited us. Man, the one that we it
Uh,
was somewhere. It was down in school. But it
I think
wasn't.
it
It
was a
wasn't.
church. It was a church in Jonesboro. I went there a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember you advised one, and I'm saying that because during that time, that's when I kind of started back. And at the time, I didn't know there was a 5-year hiatus with me and the Lord. And that 5 years took me years, and I still have effects from that 5 years out of fellowship. And I'm not sitting there saying, yes, trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, my heathen ways flow through my veins so way. That's
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
I'm just thankful because I know if I was God, I'd have been through me a long time ago.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
that's why
Yes.
them twins, grace and mercy. But
Grace and mercy.
yeah, this was awesome. I had no idea a lot of stuff. Thank you for you
Mhm.
pretty much wrote my script here today. But
Well, thank
people,
you.
again, go. I'm gonna put up there again because I want y'all to really support this sister because it's actually genuine. It's real, and she paid me nothing to say the things I'm saying. Go there, and she has an interesting story. I mean, she's a well job, and she continue to grow. And awesome mother, awesome woman, and I want to thank you, thank you, thank you. I ain't gonna
Thank
call you
you.
Doug. Call you Angie. Angie, thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you for
joining me
having me on
today
your
for sure.
show, Kanye. I'm honored and I feel special to be on this show, that you would think enough of me to bring me on your show. From the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Definitely. I'm definitely gonna be getting at you with some other business we need to take care of, but love, you know that.
All
Love you,
right. Tell,
sis.
tell
Much
my
love
tell
to
my
you.
girl Lou I said hey.
Definitely will. Definitely will.
All right. All
All
right.
right. Take care now.
All right. Peace.
Yeah. Peace. Okay. This was longer than I thought, but trust me. Hey, watch the segment if it's too long. I'm sure you're gonna get something from this. Um, I always thought she was awesome. Always did. and really consider her family. So hope you got some. Beware. This will be coming out. And look out for me every Friday for a Friday Fable. But much love to y'all. It's Some Every Years, the podcast. Share, subscribe. Holla.
Things going on in the world today. Every time Dick and Harry got something to say, but what they said ain't got no fabric to it. Yay takes and thoughts with dice right through it. It's all about rumors and people feuding. If we're not uplifting, then what we doing? Yeah, they love the culture, yet they trying to wreck it. But are we ready to go hard to protect it? If we don't stand firm, then we're sure to fall. Are you ready to fight the stain and accept the call? Or it's all about dealerships and the mall. Now I'm ready to go for broke like Apostle Paul. I'm charged with the task to keep it real. Moving straight forward, not about to yield. Tackling every subject, yeah, you know the drill. R.I.P. Guru, I bring that mass appeal. Our ancestors stood tall despite abuse. We got all the tools, so what's our excuse? It's time to show a face and take off